What if meditation did not have to be difficult and dramatic? Good morning, James. Thank you for being here as well, and you are utterly welcome. What if meditation did not have to be difficult and dramatic? Again, with the Sturgeon's Law, that 90% of everything is crap, including, sadly, meditation teachers. It would not surprise me if 90% of meditation teachers were under the curse of the Yang worldview, convinced that it's a very good thing to be a rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. But there's something more. There's something better. There's the liberation of the Yin worldview. The liberation that says, hey, you know, I think being flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind might just be a good thing. We have evolved to be drawn to the pleasurable, to find that which promotes life to be pleasurable, and to find that which promotes death to be painful. We are wired to shy away, therefore, from that which is painful and perilous, and be drawn to that which is pleasurable and life-giving. So, water is life-giving. Food is life-giving. Shelter is life-giving. The cool of the shade and the heat of the summer is life-giving. The warmth of the fire and the dead of the winter is life-giving. Sexual congress promotes life for the next generation. We are wired powerfully for these things. A fool will say, no, 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 I must shun all pleasure. And then they wonder why they have no joy and they have no bliss. I was shocked the first time I read the Buddha's concise meditation manual, the Anapanasati Sutta, for it speaks of physical bliss. It speaks of emotional joy. That was completely lacking in what I had been taught up to that point on my spiritual path. Foolish teachers dangled it like a carrot from a stake, saying, oh, any lifetime now, you just keep suffering, and then all of a sudden it'll become bliss. Yeah, no, thank you. That ain't how it works. So how can we take a hedonistic approach to meditation? Simple. We'll start with brass tacks. I'm going to start with a yoga blanket, so I'm going to go into full screen mode. Yes, I know, it's kind of a war crime, isn't it? And we're going to pivot the camera around, and I'm going to show you little teeny cheap things you can do to enhance your pleasure with meditation. So I'm going to be raising my voice to be heard since the microphone is further from my face, and it may be echoey, and if you have trouble understanding, just type a question in the chat window. So I'm going to start with pivoting the camera. Oh, goodness. Okay, so if you are arthritic, and you take comfort in a space heater, then have a space heater next to you when you meditate. Yeah, you don't get extra points for suffering. Number 2, I'm going to show you my flesh. This is my ankle right here. This is the crown of my ankle. It's a big hunk of bone. If this hits a hardwood floor, that's not a comfortable feeling. There's 2 things we can do to prevent that. Number 1, take a yoga blanket. I first acquired this for $15 on Amazon.com. It's made of cotton. Now, cotton is not good for the earth. Hemp is better. If you can find a hemp yoga blanket, find it and let me know where you got it. I'll get a couple too. But anyway, you take a yoga blanket, you fold it up until it creates a square that's about 12 inches by 16 inches. And it's about an inch or 2 thick, and it protects the crown of your ankle. There's a second way to protect the crown of the ankle. I'll show you in a few minutes. A second thing we do to increase the pleasure of meditation is get yourself a circular cushion. A fancy name for this is Zafu. Typically, you buy one, they have a zipper on the side. It's because it's full of buckwheat holes, and from time to time you need to add more or subtract some to make it just as comfortable as possible. It's worth it. It's worth the investment. You can acquire one of these for the cost of a sandwich at a restaurant. Now let's talk about ways to sit that are pleasurable. There are many of them. We all have subtle differences in our bodies. Yes, 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 we all have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a tush, but there are subtle differences, and different positions may be more or less comfortable for you, so I'll show you a bunch of different ones. First, without the Zafu. Welcome to the world of Theravadan, Southeast Asia's favorite form of Buddhism. No Zafu. You're lucky if you get a blanket. That's fine. So let's park it. Oh, goodness. I'll show you different things to help. Okay. So we'll start with the Ganesh pose. You basically touch the soles of your feet together. Thusly, I don't like this. This isn't my favorite one. Some people really do. That's fine. There's also the Tara pose, which is one leg in and one leg out. Once again, I find that places an asymmetric workload on my SI joint, which is already challenged, so I don't use it, but many people do and they find relief in it. That's fine. In Tibetan art, Guru Rinpoche is often depicted as sitting in that pose. It's also known as the royal ease posture. And so in some pieces of art, Kuan Yin is depicted as sitting that way. Now let us move uncomfortably close to the idea of the full lotus position. And nowhere in scripture does Buddha even mention the full lotus position. He says, sit comfortably with your legs crossed. So let's explore different ways to cross your legs. The first one is the easy pose. Left heel under the center of the right thigh, right heel under the center of the left thigh. Now, this is not my favorite. I don't find it to be sustainable, but it's an option to play with. And for some people, it's the best they can do, and that's fine. Okay, now let's play with my personal favorite, the quarter lotus. Your one leg is flat on the cushion or the folded blanket. Now this is where I get to show you the second way to protect the crown of your ankle. Consider, if you will, your forearm. It has 2 bones, a radius and an ulna, and they're wired to twist. They evolved to twist. Same thing with our ankles to a lesser degree. We have a tibia and a fibia, and they are wired to make subtle adjustments in the angle of your foot. So when we're sitting, we can adjust our foot so that it's not the crown of our ankle that touches the blanket, but the instep. That is the key to sitting in comfort, and comfort really is important. You turn out a little bit from the shin, but mainly from the hip. Just like in ballet, it's from the hip. So in the quarter lotus position, one leg is on the floor, or the cushion, or the blanket, and the other leg rests upon it. Once again, pointed foot, turned down, so it's not ankle bone upon ankle bone, but instep upon instep. Now, this could feel weird at first. It takes a while to get used to anything, even lovemaking. So this is the quarter lotus position. Archaeologically speaking, the oldest Buddha statues depict the Buddha sitting this way, not in the full lotus position. That has always been an elitist way of inferring that if you see a statue depicting the full lotus position, there's a dichotomy between us and them. We're so sucky and they're so great, blah, blah, blah. So this is really an egalitarian pose. Most people can master this within 1 or 2 weeks. I once had a roommate who wanted to learn how to do it, and at first his legs were like this. I said, that's okay, just hang in there. And with every passing minute he sat in meditation, as the days went by, his legs just naturally relaxed. We, as children, we were born remarkably flexible, and we can recapture that if we're patient. Once again, the key is comfort. You don't get extra points for suffering. As a local meditation teacher, no, yoga teacher used to remind us. So many people want to know how to sit in full lotus posture, and a good in-between pose is the half lotus. Once again, not a fan of it, but I don't want you to be in ignorance, so here you go. For the half lotus posture, you take, instead of resting the top shin upon the bottom shin, you rest the top ankle upon its opposite thigh. Once again, not from the knee. The flexibility comes from the hip. And at first it's going to be uncomfortable, but in time your body could relax to it. When this ceases to be a challenge, when it becomes easy, if you wanted, you could then allow the bottom leg to turn out even further, and then rest the bottom leg upon its opposite thigh. Now, I'm not a fan of this. Everyone I've met who's made a career out of cultivating this has been cranky and been miserable. Don't do this. I just can't emphasize enough how important it is to sit this way. Now, some people from youth have been trained to sit in the full lotus posture. But for the everyday folk who are turning on to meditation after they're 20, after they're 30, after they're 40, be gentle with yourself. Now, all these instructions apply to working with the Zafu, but there's another thing I forgot to mention. Not everybody, sitting on the floor is not 100% possible for everybody. So let's talk about a pleasurable way of meditating in a chair. Oh, goodness. There we go. I'm going to get this Zafu out of the way, put it where it belongs. Okay, this is a folding chair. You can acquire this from any big box store. You don't want to meditate in the lazy boy if you can help it. In a recliner. You want to sit with your tapas at the edge of the seat. Feet, if you can, flat on the floor. Head over your tush. Sorry. Shoulders over your tush, head over your shoulders. There you go. This brings us to hands. Some people will tell you your hands have to be in a precise position, and if you're not, you're wasting your time. No. Find a position that's most sustainable. Some people like to put their hands on their knees, palms up. Some like to do it palms down. Personally, I found that gave me, what's it called? Psoriasis. So I don't do that. I use palms up. Some people pull their hands in their lap and the thumbs touch at the level of the navel. If that's comfortable, that's fine. That's not comfortable for me. That causes the chi to gather at my lumbar region, and I would not recommend that for people who are sensitive to the chi. So I just have my hands stacked in my lap. And in another class, if you're curious, I'll discuss how I do crease counting, but that's another lesson for another time. So now let's discuss posture. Some people will look at me and say, well, you just look stuck up and pretentious. And maybe I am, but it's not because of the way I'm sitting. So, if you sit like this, you are going to rely upon your muscles. And your muscles will fatigue, and it's going to cause discomfort, which is the opposite of pleasure. So, when I was taught by many Taoist teachers, is to imagine that you're taking a rope, and you tie the rope into a lasso, and it goes around your head, and the knot is behind your head. And the remainder of the rope is fed up through a pulley suspended from the ceiling. And as you pull down on the rope, you experience a traction between your head and your pelvis, or your tush, or your tuchus, or your derriere. So you notice your face is not necessarily perpendicular to the ground. It's most certainly not going up. For these put strains on your back. But for your chin to be slightly tucked, and for you to entertain a vertical traction between your head and your tush, is the most sustainable. Now, is it a skill? Yes. Does it require a learning curve? Yes, it does. Just like everything. Just like masturbation required a learning curve. Just like lovemaking. Just like kissing. Everything requires a learning curve. Hell, none of us were born potty trained. We had to learn not to soil ourselves. Everything. Everything requires a learning curve. Now I'm going to put the chair away and return to the sofa. Oh, come on, computer, don't be silly that way. Okay. Let's continue talking about pleasure. Some people tell you the eyes have to be wide open, staring at the sky, staring at the horizon, staring at the earth. Some people will tell you the eyes have to be tightly closed. Some people will tell you your eyes have to be at half-mast. Do what is most comfortable in the moment. You know, if it's sunset and you're at a beautiful place overlooking, a beautiful vista, by all means, drink it in comfortably with your eyes. Due to the gut issues and the, what's it called? The autoimmune disorders common to those who have both ADHD and autism. I have lots of eye problems. So I will often close my eyes gently in meditation. Do what is most sustainable for you. Do what is the least painful for you and the most pleasurable for you in meditation. Think of a sandwich. A sandwich is a bunch of delicious things all stacked. Bread is delicious. Condiments can be delicious. Lettuce can be delicious. Vegan, vegan cheese can be delicious. Baked tofu can be delicious. You stack all those things in a certain way, and you take all these things that are delicious, and all of a sudden the delicious becomes multiplied. Same thing with the sitting. Using a folded blanket, using a zafu, finding a comfortable position for your legs, finding a comfortable position for your hands, sitting with traction, chin subtly tucked, your face relaxed, your eyes relaxed. These things are subtle pleasures, and they combine in a geometric manner. But wait, there's more. Let's go back to 5. So we've talked blanket and zafu and legs and hands and posture and eyelids. So let's look at this. Concentration is a lie of patriarchy. Patriarchy will say movement bad, stillness good. Therefore, you choose what to focus on, you choose what to ignore, and everything will be fine. And the answer is no, it won't. That is indulging our controlling tendencies. That is being uptight is the opposite of being laid back. This will not make us peaceful. This will not make us happy. This will not make us loving. This is not pleasurable. But you know what is pleasurable? Mindfulness. During each inhalation, we are wired to effortlessly and automatically access our sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the thoracic region of our spinal cord. It is evolved not for active concentration, but instead to merely notice and to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. There is a certain amount of pleasure in noticing whatever comes up without being defensive, without having an agenda, without having a clipboard, an itinerary, or a checklist. Just noticing whatever comes up. There is a freedom into doing that. There is a bit of pleasure in doing that. But there's even more pleasure in the opposite. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system. It is also ensconced within our spinal cord, but this time in the lower lumbar region, as well as the tippy top of the cervical region. And it is wired for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. And these things are deeply pleasurable. We are wired to access them every time we exhale. So our posture is a source of pleasure. Our inhalation can be a source of pleasure. Our exhalation can be a source of pleasure. So in a few minutes, we will go over various forms of meditation: the 12-syllable meditation, the 3-syllable meditation, the 1-syllable meditation. The 3-syllable meditation is so easy to practice. Not only can it be practiced sitting, not only can it be practiced during brisk walking meditation, it can even be practiced during coitus, during tantric sex. Whether you are giving your favorite sexual favor to give, or receiving your favorite sexual favor, or sharing congress, whatever it is you are doing, you can bring the 3-syllable meditation into this pleasurable thing. And it's not limited just to naked pleasure. It could be pleasure with your clothes on, the pleasure of eating your favorite food, the pleasure of hearing a cat purr, the pleasure of seeing a sunset, the pleasure of smelling of your favorite flower. All pleasures can be brought into the path of mindfulness and meditation. This is not something made up by Tibetan tantrikas. This is found, or at least inferred, in the Buddha's most concise meditation manual. And now I look forward to chanting with you and meditating with you together as a team after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. I spent more than 3 decades studying and practicing and reverse engineering and mastering the teachings and practices of each sect of Buddhism for more than 8 hours a day, every day, so that you wouldn't have to. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. If at any point during the remainder of the live stream you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Our first chant is not a prayer to real or imagined entities. What it is simply a way of using words to exercise our intention. Our empathetic intention of bodhicitta and our enthusiastic intention of refuge. We're going to practice two different versions. The first is rather literal, and we're going to set it to a triplet chant together. May I liberate all beings from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging by relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Consider, if you will, these three nouns. They are so useful that over the centuries they developed a metaphoric nickname, or they earned the metaphoric nickname of the three wish-fulfilling jewels, kind of like Aladdin's lamp. So in the second version, it's more concise and more figurative, and we're setting it to the bookend chant, which is our go-to chant. Oh yes, one thing I forgot to mention. Hands in the puckered palm position before your sternum can be pleasurable when chanting. It helps to guide real or imagined subtle electromagnetic phenomena in a sustainable pattern. Together. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. As children, the first bicycle we received most likely had training wheels, which, although were clunky, got the job done. Similarly, this morning's first meditation is also clunky. During our inhalation, we can silently and mentally recite the 12-syllable phrase, perceiving this very turbulent play of mind. And during our exhalation, we can silently and mentally recite another 12-syllable phrase, relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. So let's play with this for a few moments together right now. And of course, remember during your inhalation to invite vertical traction between your head and your tuchus. Now let us begin chanting the Song of Enlightenment, composed in the 6th century by Yongjie, translated into English by Red Pine, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Do you not see idle followers of the way, not studying, not busy, not getting rid of delusions, not looking for the truth? The true nature of their ignorance is a Buddha nature. Their illusory empty bodies is the Dharma body. Their Dharma body, they realize, does not include a thing. Their original nature is a primordial Buddha. The 5 skandhas are like but clouds floating in the empty sky. The 3 poisons are like mere bubbles appearing then gone. Seeing what is real but not persons or things, they instantly quench the fires of hell. Meanwhile, those who deceive others with lies spend kalpas having their tongues torn out. So this requires some explanation. People on the path of Yang hate anything that is easy and violently oppose it, saying the Buddha's path has to be difficult, even though the Buddha said it could be mastered in a week. And they also run about saying that, hey, if you try doing the easy path, you're going to go to hell. But people on the path of Yin say it can be easy, it can be quick. And so whether you think hell is a real thing or just a metaphoric thing, there are horrible sufferings in our lives, and those lives can be made worse by our resistance to them. When we forsake the easy path, we're just experiencing more resistance. When we traverse the easy path, we're freeing ourselves from that resistance. Let's continue. Instant understanding is Tathagata meditation. Every practice and perfection is present in your body. The 6 passive existence look real in a dream. Once you're awake, the whole universe is gone. No punishments or blessings, nothing lost or gained. Ask for the heart of nirvana, do not ask for directions. Regarding that unpolished, discovered mirror, it is time you took a closer look. This will be explored in greater detail in a later verse that we will get to this morning. But it's a reference to don't blindly accept the mumbles of the minions of orthodoxy. Who has no thoughts, who is not born? What truly is not born is not born. Ask a mechanical man made of wood, how is that quest for Buddhahood coming? Let's not try to force ourselves to be as mindless as a tailor's wooden mannequin. Now we come to the point where we remove the first of 2 metaphoric training wheels, reducing our contemplative exercises from 12 syllables per breath down to just 3. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, notice this, and during our exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, relaxing. Together. Let go your grip on the material world. In the heart of nirvana, eat and drink your fill. So we see a contradiction here. Let go your grip, but it's okay to eat and drink. What's going on here? So our job is neither to chase pleasure nor flee pleasure. Our job is to empathetically dwell in the present moment from a place of centered spontaneity. There's a wonderful line from the science fiction TV show Altered Carbon, and I'm going to paraphrase it badly. We are emissaries. We accept what is given. So it's kind of like you find the balance between neither fleeing pleasure nor chasing pleasure, but accepting it, recognizing that asceticism is a trap. Practices are ephemeral, everything is empty. This is the perfect enlightenment of the Buddhas. Even though we began on this, I think it would be more fun if we switched gears right now, so join me while we do that. I'm going to, quick like a bunny, try to open up a different text. All right, this is the Tesar Gondar, composed by Dudjom Lingpa in the 1800s. It was translated into English under the supervision of Chagdo Tulku. It's been adapted and amplified by yours truly. Let us begin with energy work that coalesces our real or imagined energy over our heads. Let's chant. O Majo Lama, please come to this crown, O infallible constant protector who knows all Dharma things. O Majo Lama, please come to this crown, O infallible constant protector who knows all Dharma things. O Majo Lama, please come to this crown, O infallible constant protector who knows all Dharma things. So our job is not superstition. Our job is not to believe. Our job is to play with words to help the energy to flow in different directions. Now let us return to the 12-syllable meditation. If you have trouble reading this, bring that to my attention and I'll do my best to make it easier for you. So the first category of exercises was energy work, which is known by many names. The second category of exercises is sutra recitation, which replaces having to contemplate ideas for weeks or months or years. We simply chant an idea, then we rest in meditation, let the subconscious do the heavy lifting. We're going to play with joyful enthusiasm, which is the sixth fold of the Buddhist path. This is something we hit several times to ensure that this is more fun and less of a chore. Puckered palms before your sternum. It is extremely difficult to find such freedom and opportunities as we have. It is extremely difficult to find such freedom and opportunities as we have. It is extremely difficult to find such freedom and opportunities as we have. And we return to the 3-syllable exercise we played with a few minutes ago. For our second sutra recitation pertains. Oopsie, this is weird. Aha. Our second sutra recitation pertains to impermanence, not to frighten us, but to help us exercise the wisdom of letting go, which is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Together. Being impermanent, everyone who was born will die. Being impermanent, everyone who was born will die. Being impermanent, everyone who was born will die. Now we come to the second of 2 metaphoric training wheels, where we reduce our contemplative exercises from 3 syllables per breath down to just 1. During our perceptive inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our releasing exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the monosyllabic verb ease, which functions as a synonym of relax. Our next sutra recitation pertains to interdependence. We do not chant this to frighten ourselves with tales of cause and effect, but to inspire ourselves that through cause and effect we can lighten others' loads. This strengthens our experience of wishing love, the second fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Let's chant. The results of our virtuous and harmful actions are inevitable. The results of our virtuous and harmful actions are inevitable. The results of our virtuous and harmful actions are inevitable. And now that we've reached cruising altitude, together as a team, let us meditate as transformatively as Yoda on Dagobah under the guidance of the Force Ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. By being vulnerable with the stressors in our lives, our empathy for others grows. The three realms we experience is some sort of cycle or like an ocean of suffering. The three realms we experience is some sort of cycle or like an ocean of suffering. The three realms we experience is some sort of cycle or like an ocean of suffering. Remembering this made my mind turn toward Dharma. Remembering this made my mind turn toward Dharma. Remembering this made my mind turn toward Dharma. From now until I reach a very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama who embodies the three jewels. Now, due to physical challenges, I'm no longer capable of doing Tibetan-style Buddha bowing, but I can perform geriatric step back squat thrusts, and I invite you to join me right now for 3 repetitions. Until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama, who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama, who embodies the three jewels. From now until I reach the very heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Lama, who embodies the three jewels. From now until samsara is emptied, may I bring about benefit and happiness for all beings as if they have each been my kind mothers. From now until samsara is emptied, may I bring about benefit and happiness for all beings as if they have each been my kind mothers. From now until samsara is emptied, may I bring about benefit and happiness for all beings as if they have each been my kind mothers. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my loves of the three jewels. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my loves to the three jewels. To perfect the two accumulations, I offer the body's wealth and splendor of all my loves to the three jewels. Please place your puckered palms overhead. Dorje Sempa, inseparable from my Lama, is above the crown of my head. Nectar flows from him, purifying my obscurations on Vajrasattva. Dissolving into light, diamond mind, father and mother, blend with my heart and experience of oneness. Dissolving into light, diamond mind, father and mother, blend with my heart and experience of oneness. Dissolving into light, diamond mind, father and mother, blend with my heart and experience of oneness. So what we're going to do now is bring mantra meditation into the path of love and letting go in a deeply figurative manner. May all minds of all beings now be as wise and peaceful as the mind of a Buddha, of Lord symbolized by a bija, one syllable seeds of mantra whom articulate drop. So this is called wishing love. It's the second fold of the eightfold path. And we're now going to shrink it down into a very concise version of the same sentiment. During our inhalation, we're going to repeat the concise version of the wishing intention, the wishing love. And as we exhale, we're going to physically relax as best we can into this 6-syllable mantra. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, 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 Om Vajra Sattva Hum. May all relationships of all beings now be as loving and joyful as a real or imagined Buddha's communications symbolized by the 6-syllable mantra. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, 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 Om Vajra Sattva Hum. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, 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 Om Vajra Sattva Hum. May all bodies of all beings now enjoy the beautiful health depicted in Buddhist thought of the blissful body of a yidam of lore and archetype of enlightenment. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. May all circumstances or lots of all beings now have their safety, good fortune, or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or Vanti. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Let us review or demystify the idea of emptiness. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although compelling to the eye is not graspable to the hand. So now we're going to bring mantra meditation into the path of awareness and letting go. How is it that as we inhale, all common circumstances or lots could appear quite vivid, yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined paradise or vati of light? Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 How is it that as we inhale our common bodies, our forms could feel quite sensual, yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as not graspable as a real or imagined octopoiedom of light? Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of common communication, our speech could be quite resounding? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it could feel as not graspable as a real or imagined mantra of light. Om Vajrasattva Hum. 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 How is it that as we inhale, we could perceive mind's functions clearly? Let's try this again. How is it that as we inhale, we could perceive mind... Having a tough time here. How is it that as we inhale, we could perceive mind's common functions clearly? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a real or imagined seed-settable hum of light. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum, Om Vajrasattva Hum. We have brought mantra meditation into the path of love and letting go, and awareness and letting go. And now we're going to bring it into the path of bliss and letting go. If you've just joined us, welcome aboard. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. So, here we go. How am I like Dorje Naljor? How am I like Dorje Naljor? How am I like Dorje Naljor? One moment. As we breathe in, we could silently and mentally recite, both Dorje Naljor and I could notice and release bliss. During our exhalation, we'll physically relax as best we can while chanting this 12-syllable mantra. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmasiri Hum. 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 Puckered palms overhead, if you please. In the sky in front of me, my rude Lama could appear in the form of Padmakara. In the sky in front of me, my rude Lama could appear in the form of Padmakara. In the sky in front of me, my rude Lama could appear in the form of Padmakara. So this is going to be a moment's worth of editing. Please bear with me. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Embodiment of all Buddhas of the three times. Embodiment of all Buddhas of the three times. Embodiment of all Buddhas of the three times. Most excellent Living Lama, I pray to you. Most excellent Living Lama, I pray to you. Most excellent Living Lama, I pray to you. Hold me with your compassion in this and future lives and in the mortal. Hold me with your compassion in this and future lives and in the mortal. Hold me with your compassion in this and future lives and in the mortal. Bless me always throughout the 3 times Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmasini Hum. Bless me always throughout the 3 times Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmasini Hum. Bless me always throughout the 3 times Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmasini Hum. May I receive all the blessings and empowerments of enlightenment from speech and mind. May I receive all the blessings and empowerments of enlightenment from speech and mind. May I receive all the blessings and empowerments of enlightenment from speech and mind. Please place your puckered palms before your forehead. Benzo Guru Kayo Waka. Let's try this again. Benzo Guru Kayo Waka Sita Siddhi Hum. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Mama 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 Siddhi Hum. Puckered palms before the throat. Benzo Guru Kaya Waka Tsita Sinihun. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Record palms before your sternum. Benza Guru Kaya Wakatsita Siri Hum. If you've just joined us, welcome aboard. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Prior to when you've tuned in, we've brought mantras into the path of love and letting go, and into the path of awareness and letting go. And now we're bringing them into the path of bliss and letting go. As we breathe in, we're going to silently and mentally recite the rhetorical question, relax into the awareness of these feelings. And as we exhale, we're going to physically relax as best we can while chanting this 12-syllable mantra. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 The Lama dissolves into light and blends with my heart in all inseparability. The Lama dissolves into light and art and blends with my heart in all inseparability. The Lama dissolves into light and blends with my heart in all inseparability. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 I behold the true face of the ultimate Lama, the union of spontaneous awareness and emptiness. I behold the true face of the ultimate Lama, the union of spontaneous awareness and emptiness. I behold the true face of the ultimate Lama, the union of spontaneous awareness and emptiness. Om Ahum Vajra Guru Manmaziri Hum. 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 Om Ahum Vajra Guru Mamaziri 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 Hum. We now rehearse the Poa transference of consciousness at the time of death, finding peace by relaxing into the inevitable. Puckered palms overhead, if you please. I pray to the protector, Amitabha, bless me that I may master the profound path of Poa. Pay. I pray to the protector, Amitabha, bless me that I may master the profound path of Poa. Pay. I pray to the protector, Amitabha, bless me that I may master the profound path of Poa. Pay. Now it's time for Tantra's Cho Slicing Offering, where we are reminded that 50% of the Eightfold Path pertains to loving kindness, and 75% of that pertains to kind communication, kind commerce, and kind conduct. Please place your puckered palms before your sternum. I now give my body, wealth, and virtue as qualities wholeheartedly to all beings as if they had each been my kind mothers. I now give my body, wealth, and virtue as qualities wholeheartedly to all beings as if they had each been my kind mothers. I now give my body, wealth, and virtue as qualities wholeheartedly to all beings as if they had each been my kind mothers. Let us seal this morning's practice with a bit of the old loving kindness. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. Without hindrance may I ensure enormous benefit for all beings. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately, whoops, forgot to set the timer. In approximately, goodness, what is it? 7, 8. In approximately 10 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tonight's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.